I don't always ball out of control, but when I do, it's to install parts I've wanted since I was a child. Today, we're going to be installing a Nardi Torino 350mm deep cone steering wheel. Check it out. What's up guys, I'm Ben and you're watching Kame Trick, the channel where we party with friends by shredding in grassroots drift cars. If you want to join that party, be sure to hit subscribe. There are two things that we're going to have to do to get this install going. One of them is to remove the factory wheel which has been on here for the past 17 years. And the other is to prep the steering wheel and the quick release short hub. So we're going to go inside and do that first. Let's review what we've got. We have the Nardi Torino wheel, their beautiful horn button that just makes everything look so nice, and a Circuit Sports quick release and Circuit Sports short hub. We also have the instructions, which if you saw my other video, you'll be as surprised as I was most likely, that they are in the Japanese language. I had always thought Circuit Sports was an American company. When I tried to look online, I didn't find a whole lot of information about where they're actually based out of. But my buddy Kenji, shout out, who watches the channel, informed me that he's pretty sure that they're actually based out of Texas. If that's true, then Circuit Sports, if you're watching this, DM me on any of my channels, and the next time I pass by there, let's do a shop tour. I think that'd be cool. Right, so we've got the instructions. Ironically, I can read Japanese decently. I speak Japanese quite well, but I'm actually not gonna use the directions all that much because this is pretty simple and I should just be able to eyeball it. I'm just gonna need to screw this together. That's got all of that installed. And that is that. Next, the wheel will go onto the quick release and the horn will go inside there. Quick apology to those of you all who are looking for a tutorial on how to install the horn button such that it works. Sorry, but I personally do not care whether or not the horn works. I'm just gonna be sticking this bad boy on there and not even sweating it. We know that the horn button is just gonna sit in here, but it's gonna have to fit in here as well, which it does not. At first I was kind of freaked out by this, but then I discovered that there's actually this ring in here. So if we pull that out, the horn button, while snug, can be compressed and should fit in there. I am going to try and keep this little button near one of the spokes so that, like, I'm gonna have to reach through like this anyway, and I want the button to be somewhere easy to reach from here. I don't want it to be like up in the middle. So let's see what our options are here. I think this will be great, and then the button's right there, and so I can just reach and grab it as I pull it all apart. So I'm gonna go with that. These screws will all go in. And there's the last one. Now I'm gonna tighten all of these down, put some proper force on them. And that's got it. All that's left is to get this horn button in. And that is probably gonna require some flathead screwdrivers. I don't have a great method in mind for doing this. All I know is that this piece sticks out the most, so it's probably gonna be what goes in first. And then I'm gonna try and force these little tabs down. Let's just see what happens if I give it a bit of a push. It may or may not work. We'll go to the drawing board. So first I'll take the horn button apart. It kind of explodes when you take it apart, so it's important to make sure you know how to put it back together. Alright, so first of all I want to check, can this even fit in here? The answer is yes it can, but it's totally loose, so it's going to need something to help hold it in there. Does this fit in there? It does too. So there's pretty much no choice but to force it and then use this crammed in there, and then hopefully that is going to be what holds it in there. Alright, so I've got one corner in, another corner basically in, and I can't really show you a good angle of this, but I'm pretty much hoping that I can force it in. That's what she said. Alright, I think that's got it. Pro camera skills. Alright, so that's got it in there. Next I've got to move the car and change the wheels out. Repositioning the car because I want to make sure that the front wheels are facing straight ahead and the steering wheel is nice and centered up. That way when I change the wheels, I won't make anything off center. Alright, so I'm pretty happy with that. And now I'm going to take this wheel off and change them out. This will just pull off. And then I got to take off this nut. It's always a little bit challenging to deal with these nuts, so we're going to use the impact on them. Pro tip, don't hit yourself in the face with the wheel. If it doesn't come off easily, put the nut on lightly so that when it comes off, you're not going to go and obliterate your face. That's no fun. There we go. See, face intact. It was great. So this comes off. All right, guys, here's the challenge. So my 240 is a cruise control model, and so it's got this bit where the cruise control came out through the wheel, and it moves freely, but I can't just pull it out of the way. It's hitting on my hub. Obviously, I could just cut it off, but I think what I'm going to try to do is remove this plastic trim and see if I can't pull this off. So I see there's a screw here, 2 holes on the bottom, and we're just gonna jump into it and give it a try. Just guessing here, but will anything come apart now? So we'll just give it some firm pulls. Okay, something fell off. Here, there are 4 screws on the corners, and I suspect when I remove those, I can just pull this plastic piece out. All right, here's what we've got. This pulls out. I don't see any sort of a plug, but I suspect that this all just needs to go. There is not any sort of a connector that I can access from here. So I'm probably gonna have to take this bottom piece of the trim off so that I can pull this steering column trim all the way out and then remove this. I did take off this cover to see if there were any sort of disconnect options in here by removing the clips here and here, but there was just a circuit board. So to get that dash off, we're first going to have to remove this trim piece, which you might remember from my harness bar install video. And with it off, we pull off this kick panel. Next up, our 2 bolts down at the bottom. All right, so those 2 come out, and then we have to get these like 5. So that'll drop down now. I never did figure out how to get these off, but what I did figure out is that I can pull this down and walk this wire over these trim pieces and out the side where I can find a disconnect. Okay, so whatever this stuff is, it's gone now. That's actually a pretty cool little design so that it can rotate and keep the contacts working. We'll put this just back in there somewhere. And before I put anything else together, let's see if this finally goes on here and feels decent. There we go. on. I'm gonna pull this off. Okay, we are ready to give this thing a few uggas, and then we will put everything back together. And we now have everything mounted and tightened up. Let's check it out. Well, I can already say it makes getting in and out of the car a lot easier. I'll just slide on. And that's it. It's installed. First impressions, I feel like it looks awesome with the interior. The red stitching really does look nice, the little hint of red when you see the red of the hood there. I could have gone with a black hub, and that would have been a pretty nice call. I do have, of course, a silver trim ring on the wheel itself, silver trim rings on my gauges over here, so the silver works also, but the black might have been a little bit sleeker of a choice. All in all though, I'm really happy with how this looks in the car. It feels great in the hand. It is a little closer to me than I anticipated, even with that short hub. Not too bad. I like the wheel being close. And personally, I have a long torso and little short, like Deadpool baby legs, so I need to sit pretty close to get my pedal position where I like it for my feet. But even sitting back in the chair all the way, I can put my wrist over the center of the wheel and have a nice crook in the elbow. One of the things for general seating as a guideline is you don't want to have your elbow locked out in order to do that, or certainly you don't want your shoulder coming off the back of the seat there. So that's pretty good positioning, and I'm excited to try this out at our coming event tomorrow. That'll probably drop next week, so look forward to that video. Thank you guys for watching. Hit that like button if you enjoyed this content and if it was helpful, and please consider subscribing. Have a good night, guys. Peace.